Hey everybody, this is Maxine Taylor, America's first licensed astrologer. I have a whole new series we're starting right now. It's called Practical Astrology. Know that I take astrology and I break it down simply so that you awaken within you the astrologer that resides within. Today, we're going to talk about Mars, the planet Mars, and where it falls in your birth chart, which house it falls in, because that is the most important thing when you're interpreting a birth chart. Now, Mars is action, it's energy, it's passion, it's what you throw yourself into because it comes first to you. It's what you'll fight with and fight for. It's war and everything relating to it. Games of sport like football, Mars, good grief. It's a war on the field, a socially acceptable place in which to wage war. But there, of course, are victors and losers. War. So let's talk about Mars in the first house of the zodiac. The first house is your physical body. It's the one that is the house that is the most personal to you. A first house Mars makes for a very me person because they throw themselves into whatever it is that they do, and they want to do it now rather than later. And because Mars rules the natural first house in the zodiac, Mars in the first house makes you a disguised Aries. And so the mantra is, I'm doing what I want, when I want, how I want, because I want, and because I can. Mars in the first house wants a short-term goal with a quick reward. Mars puts itself first, and so you might want a person with Mars in the first house at your next party. Why? You might be asking. Well, because they'll start the conversation off by bringing up perhaps something a little bit inflammatory and give you their own opinion about it, and it starts everything going. I love Mars. And the mantra, as I said, I do what I want, when I want, how I want, because I want, and because I can. It's more like lead, follow, but get out of my way. Actually, I have to change that because Mars doesn't want to follow anyone. They want to lead and then leave and have their short-term goal with a quick reward done. Got it? They're really great. Mars in the second house, very, very different. Because while Mars says, me first, second house, Mars says me first in the first house. In the second house, it's my money first. And the beauty of having Mars in the second house is you'll fight with your money, you'll fight for your money. And whatever you fight for, you're going to create. And the beauty of Mars in the second house is that the money flows. You get it, you spend it. You get it, you spend it. It makes you a disguised Taurus. And Taurus deals with things, with money. It's a terrific place for Mars. Now, I think every place, every house is a terrific house for Mars because that's where the action is. It's what comes first to you. Now remember, Venus is what you love. Mars may be what you hate, what you're angry at. But because you're dealing with it head on, it's where you create. And it's number one to you. Number one. Okay? So you want to take all of the videos I'm doing and kind of combine them so that you understand your own chart. Mars in the third house makes you a disguised Gemini. The third house is communication, correspondence, and transportation. Gemini's always bored, and Mars in the third is always bored. When they speak very directly, very forthrightly. They get right to the point. I don't care what sign they're in. Mars in the third will fight with their words and ideas and for their words and ideas. Now, the third house, interestingly enough, rules our early childhood and our siblings. So there might have been a war between the siblings when you were growing up. There might still be a war with the siblings as adults, and your oldest sibling is impatient and wants to do what he or she wants when he or she wants to, his or her way. And that's just what's up. Now, Mars in the fourth house, very interesting, makes you a disguised Cancerian. You'll fight with your family and for your family. Your home and family come first to you. That means on vacations, you spend time with your family. Thanksgiving would not be the same if you didn't visit the family or perhaps have them over to your house. But it's a family thing. You'd probably be good at real estate, all things considered. We don't know, but your whole chart considered. You could be very good at real estate. So you can see our first four houses are very interesting. Mars in the first, me first. That's how it is. I make the rules for me. I've got an idea, implement it. If you can't, I'm grabbing the idea and running with it. Mars in the second house. I want my money, and I want it now, and I'm willing to work for it, and you will create it. Mars in the third house. Fight with your ideas. You speak very directly. You shoot from the hip. You don't mince words. It doesn't even matter what sign Mars is in. Your ideas come first, and you're willing to speak up. And you learned this as a child because you might have had to have gone toe-to-toe with a sibling. You learned to speak up as a youngster. And our last placement, of course, Mars in the fourth house. Home and family. That home sweet home thing, not so much with Mars in the fourth. It's, let's get the family together, let's do it now. And there may be arguing with the nurturing parent. This can happen. So, interesting, huh? Next time we're going to talk about Mars in the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th houses.